You are watching the Justin TV Invitational, cast by myself, TotalBiscuit. Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you to SHOUTcraft right here, bringing you Attero in the red trunks. He's playing Protoss on the scrap station versus his opponent Socke in the baby blue trunks. He is also playing Protoss. This is the Justin TV Invitational winners bracket, brought to you by Zowie, QPad, Zeke, and of course Split Reason. Of course, the one and only Justin TV, as you might imagine. That would be a little bit weird if the Justin TV Invitational did not involve Justin TV in some respect. Socke lost his first game against Attero thanks to a 4-gateway approach, whereas Socke was not able to defend against that, and really you can't, honestly. With fairly even skill levels, if you don't see the 4-gateway coming, Socke was very weak on his scouting, honestly. There was a window where he could have gone in and actually stopped the 4-gateway, but he didn't do it. That was Socke's fault, honestly, and once that happened, he was pretty much doomed. Attero executing the 4-gateway pretty much flawlessly. Nothing to complain about there, aside from the fact that it is a 4-gateway, and people tend to get very upset about that, but there you go. Attero tends to go for his gateway on 13 supply as opposed to 12, likes to get those probes out, likes to get a little bit of an early economic lead so he can get that gateway down a little bit quicker. Socke with a gateway on 12 instead, and there you go. Up it goes on 13, not deviating from his previous strategy. We may see something other than a 4-gateway approach, but you never know. I would expect Socke to be on his guard against that kind of thing. Maybe even go with the so-called Artosis approach, as people like to call it, even though it wasn't Artosis that came up with it, which is a very early 3-stalker approach with 2 gateways, which will allow you to repulse a 4-gate if you scout it properly. That said, Socke really showing no particular signs of doing that yet, but it is a little bit early for it. We'll see whether or not that is the case. Attero scout on the way, and Socke scout in the base. He'll keep an eye out and see what he can see. Of course, he'll be pushed out before any signs of a 4-gateway come in, so it's kind of pointless. Cybernetic score goes down for Socke, so no sign of that yet. Cybernetic score will be a little bit later for Attero as a result of him getting that gateway down a little bit later. Indeed, Socke might actually... pause right there, and we might as well continue with the speculation. Socke might, in fact, come in and try and 4-gateway against Attero, which would make sense, honestly. We'll find out. Latency seems to be okay, as far as I know. Little bit of a pause right here. But yeah, this is the problems with PvP, folks. The most effective way to win a PvP seems to be to 4-gate better than your opponent, which is kinda lousy, but there you go. It's just the nature of PvP right now. What do you have to do to change it? I don't know. Does Blizzard have to do anything to change it, or is it a metagame situation? Some newer players might not understand what the metagame actually is, and that's just the kind of state of the game based on how people are playing and the strategies which have become most dominant. It's not necessarily a balance issue, although balance does affect the metagame. It does come down to the fact that this is what is currently happening. Does the metagame need to shift in order for this to stop? Certainly a possibility. A little bit of harassment right there by Attero's probe, not that he can do an awful lot with it. And Socke finally decides to back off with that probe. I would think he'll try and keep that active and keep an eye out for incoming probes and of course the deployment of the 4-gateway. We're looking for 2 gateways going down here, I would imagine, at some point in the not too distant future. Cybernetic score out there, Stalker coming out right here, and no sign of those gateways yet, but then again you wouldn't expect them to be at this stage of the game. Socke can easily deploy another 2 gateways if he wants right now. Might start that immediately. There's one, looks for the second right here, there's the 2, and we're looking for the 3rd. We might see that after that. Is Attero saving up for that? Yes, he is. Attero pretty much certainly going for a 4-gateway right now. There you go. 1, 2, and 3. What will the response be from Socke? I have to wonder. There you go. He's 4-gating as well. Not that you'd expect anything else. And this really comes down to Socke actually caught out position there, and Attero able to eliminate that probe. So I'm not entirely convinced that Socke will be able to prosecute that 4-gateway approach, although he is aggressively defending against that. Takes out the probe with a nice little shot right there. So nothing coming in from Attero. Nothing can get past that either. If Socke is able to hold this middle area right here on the Xel'Naga Watchtower, the 4-gateway won't be as effective. And that is to be expected on a map like Scrap Station. So it's pretty good that he's picked that, honestly. Thanks to that amount of control. If you don't break your way through here, there's no way to get a probe around there without being spotted by the Xel'Naga Watchtower. It's got such range on it. Even if you try and sneak around here, the chances are you will be detected. So there you go. Socke with a Stalker out right there. Bit of a standoff going on right here. Neither opponent able to actually get in anything for a 4-gateway attack. Unit count right now is firmly in favor of Socke. He's actually been boosting out plenty of Stalkers. Wait on the defense, and here we go. Attero with the warp in as well, looking for the 4 gateway deployment. He should be able to do it. He does have numbers. However, it depends on how much Socke can fend him off for. It's going to take a little bit of time to get over there. He does have the Zelnaga Watchtower. He's able to move away. He's going to lose that Stalker by the looks of it. Attero at least forced to flank around and deal with it. So that's going to delay the deployment of the 4 gateway significantly. And Socke may be able to deploy additional units in the meantime. Those cooldowns on his warp gate should be gone. And Socke now going for a Twilight Council. Intriguing stuff. Will it be enough, however? Here comes the pylon deployment. The pressure will start to come in here. He'll try and get the blink out, but it's going to be 2 minutes, really, before he can get blink out at all. The blink stalkers would give him a significant edge. Will Socke be able to hold the line here? Not entirely convinced by that. Attero falls back slightly. Nothing on the side of that, really, aside from that Stalker. He gets a good bit of scouting information. He should now know where that pylon is. Actually, missed it very slightly there. Interesting. It must have just been outside of the range of the Zelnaga Watchtower. Good deployment there by Attero. And in we go once again. It's 9 Stalkers and 5 Zealots now versus 7 Stalkers. Additional warping of Zealots on the field. Attero does have the advantage. We do have a single sentry out. Not enough to block the ramp, unfortunately, and I am very much doubting Socke's ability to defend against this, but you never know. Twilight Council did go down. We could go for the blink right here, but right now he doesn't have the gas for it, and in he goes once again. Attero charges in, and honestly, I don't really see what he can do against this. Even with Socke's superior, perhaps, micromanagement, he's going to be forced back here by sheer weight of numbers. Attero goes in all the way in. Massive amount of a numerical advantage here by Attero. Nails down GG. What do you expect, man? It's a 4 gate. We'll be right back after this, folks. Don't go away. 2-0 in favor of Attero.